Good morning everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel BirdsEyeStitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you are new here then welcome. I hope you are here because you have a love of cross stitch, and if you're returning then thank you so much for coming back and for choosing to spend part of your day with me. Today is Sunday, it is December 20th, which means we are getting very close to Christmas. This will be the last Flosstube that I film before Christmas, so I had to break out my fun Christmas festive sweater. Well, you only see a tiny bit of it, but he's a light up cool Santa, so, well, I mean, it has flashy lights, it's Santa. I do prefer snowman to Santa, but he is just so cute, and if you're gonna wear a Santa, at least you can wear the cool man Santa. Anyway, I wear this sweater usually to work either on Christmas or the day before Christmas. It just depends on, when I'm working. And then sometimes on Christmas Day. This year, he gets to make an extra appearance because I'm filming and I wanted to be festive. So, okay, a little bit to talk about today. I had all kinds of you guys gave me some great suggestions for the temperature tree. I'm gonna be stitching that in 2021, and I wanted to get started on the actual tree itself, which I will be doing this next week. But anyway, I had some questions. I just wanted to get your guys' input on some different colors to do the tree trunk in, or the actual tree itself. So I wrote down some of your guys' suggestions. I had Alma's Little Wonders. She suggested from Forbidden Fiber Company, dark walnut or bark. I went on to their website because I did not own any floss from them, and that was a mistake. Not really a mistake, but I pretty much loved everything that I saw. So I did end up ordering dark walnut amongst some other colors. So when those come in, I will show those, but thank you, Alma's Little Wonders, for that glorious suggestion and for showing me a new company that I had never heard of before. So thanks for that. Then I had Karen, to look down to read these things. Karen Jorgen Jensen recommended Hickory Sticks by Classic Colorworks. I did not have that one in my stash, but I've seen that one and it is a beautiful color. Diana Lynn recommended DMC 898, which is also beautiful. And then Karen told me that the actual called for color, I guess I didn't think to look. Yeah, that's not really surprising if you really know me, but I didn't think to look to see what the actual called for color was. I just know that I had seen other people stitching it, and I guess just the ones that I've been looking at are using like a normal non-variegated floss. So I didn't realize that it was called for to be stitched in a variegated color called Cocoa Bean, or maybe it just doesn't have a whole lot of variegation to it. I'm not exactly sure, but Karen, thank you for pointing that out. I have not looked at that one just yet because I did not have Cocoa Bean in my stash. So it turns out that everything you guys recommended, I didn't have. I don't actually have all that much in the hand-dyed world. I do subscribe to the Floss of the Month pack from Color and Cotton, so I have quite a few of those. And then I do try to pick up, just a couple of types of like hand-dyed floss whenever I make any orders, either from Etsy or 123 Stitch, just to start growing my stash in that. But I didn't have any of those. So I pulled some that I have, although I still may go with that dark walnut color from Forbidden Fiber Company because it's beautiful. Anyway, we'll see what happens when that comes in. If it comes in anytime soon. You know how shipping is. But I do have a few that I pulled from my stash, which is probably what I should have done at the last video, was to pull what I have and, I don't know, see what you guys think. But we'll go over that later. So, besides going through all of your guys' nice comments, what else did I do this last week? I stitched. I watched the last episode of the show Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you guys are Schitt's Creek watchers, which my daughter likes to point out every time I talk about it. I am cussing, or don't really do a lot of cussing in our household. I mean, it doesn't offend me, it's just not something that I really do. So when I do say it, my daughter, who is old enough, you know, she's 12, but she's always like, Mom, you have to say it. You're supposed to say Schitt's Creek. That way it doesn't sound like you're cussing. I can't even do it the way she does, but it makes me laugh. Anyway, I love that show. I finished that show. Now I am on the hunt for a new comedy that I can watch while I'm stitching. So we did that. I watched Flosstube. That's a Flosstube. The channel that I just discovered, you know, new to me, I guess you could say, or one that I've been watching, was Angela the Ada Lover. I will link her below, but I just watched a video from her a couple days ago, and her mom had celebrated her 80th birthday. So happy birthday to her mother. But to celebrate, she got her mom 80 presents, you know, just little presents, you know, like crackers and things like that, and wrapped them up. And just hearing her tell that story of her and her mom's 80th birthday, it was nice. It was a great video. She does lots of beautiful stitching. She does stitch on Ada, obviously. I don't know if she stitches on anything else because I only watched the one video, but I really enjoyed it. But that was Angela the Ada Lover, so I will link her below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for life updates in my world. Christmas is in 4 days, 5 days. You don't need to take away a day. Christmas is on Friday. How's that? I'm not done Christmas shopping. We don't do a whole lot of gifts in our household. You know, it's usually like one main gift and then a couple little stocking stuffers. But I have a couple things I still need to get, so I'm going to go brave the world today on a Sunday and pick up the last remaining things. But for the most part, we're about ready to go. All right, almost 7 minutes in, stitching. I have a new start, I have a whip, and then I've got some plans, got the giveaway at the end. We will dive right in. New start. My new start was an Owl Forest embroidery. I am stitching this with my friend Anne. It was for her birthday. Her birthday was on January the 16th, so happy late birthday, Anne. I will be stitching on this piece on the 16th of each month to kind of keep it in my rotation until it's done. It is Owl Forest Embroidery's Russian Windows. Looks like this. I am stitching mine on a piece of 28 count Lugana. It's in the color Fairy Dust. This is a piece that I found at my local Goodwill whenever I found all of that fabric. So looks like this. I am using a mix of called for DMC conversion and then my own flosses that I had in my stash. So these two here, these are the called fors, the DMCs. So this is DMC 3052 and 372. Got this guy and this guy. Now, when I started, well, the whole reason why I picked this up is because I just loved, sorry for the glare, I loved the cool tone colors. It was just very calming to me and very, I like those cooler tones, you know, the grays and the light blues and the turquoise, and of course yellow could go either way, but I prefer the cooler toned yellows. So that's really what drew my eye. When I pulled the floss that it recommended, the DMC conversion, I didn't fully love them all, so I kind of swapped some. But these ones here from the beginning, this is not cool tone to me at all. Like, this is very, very, very calm, very neutral, very, it's pretty. I just don't know that I love it. I'm gonna keep going. I just want to see what happens, but I'm excited to pull in some of those other colors. So, oh, also I am stitching this 1/1, so it will be small because this piece of fabric wasn't big enough to do it over 2, and I kind of like the idea of the smaller windows, so that is where we're at. Just to kind of show the colors that I did pull for this. So I pulled some color in cottons. We have Mistletoe, we have Oceana, and Dusty Blue. Try to lay these down so you can see them. like this. And these obviously are to mimic the blues and the turquoise and the darker green. So I'm excited to watch this one grow. It caught me off guard a little bit with how neutral the first two colors were looking, which very pretty. It's just not, this isn't a bad thing. It's not what I typically gravitate towards. So if anything, it's going to be something new and different. And it's going to have a bunch of tiny little windows. So that is also exciting. But this will be put away until the 16th of January when Anne and I will pull it back out and work on it together again. So All Forest Embroidery, becoming one of my favorite designers. I've never bought one of their kits. I'm tempted to, and I probably will at some point, but I just really like the way that they have their patterns, super easy to read, and I like most of their designs. So, all right, that was my new start. I also have a whip. I am putting in the goal for this month with the Magazine Monthly Challenge for my acrostic. The acrostic for December is snow, and I'm using one piece for all 4 letters with 2 hours per letter. So the goal is to get 8 hours put into the Majestic unicorn. I am 5.5 hours in. Yes, so I'm at 5.5 hours so far. So here is where I'm at. I made quite a bit of progress. I've gotten all of the head done. I also stitched, kind of move this a little bit. I'll pull this guy out of the Q-snap next week after I complete my 8 hours and show you the full piece, but I also did the rest of the unicorn horn. Is that what they're called? The unicorn horn? There might be an official name for it. I don't know what it is, but I stitched in that, did the head, all of this background area, all of this neck area. I was really amazed. And you hear this all the time, right? How backstitch really makes things pop. But on this guy, I have been backstitching as I go. It does still need some beads, that's what those open dots are, but I've been backstitching as I go just because I really don't like to backstitch. And I know if I wait till the very end, there is 0% chance this will ever get finished. So as I go, I'm adding the backstitch. I actually just finished the head yesterday, and it was getting close to the evening time, so I was just getting a little bit tired. So I still need to backstitch the head. I will start in on that, and then I've got 2.5 hours to go. So lots of progress made. Obviously, I will not be finishing this in 2.5 hours, but I will have this top area done. I would like to have the rest of the handkerchief completed, and maybe, you know, this top part of the body. We'll see what happens, but beautiful, really coming along nicely. Again, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this after it's fully finished or fully completed, because my daughter's getting a little bit older and she's not that into unicorns right now, which is why I started this. She actually chose this piece, but she still gets excited every time I work on it. So this guy, just in case you're new to my channel, it will eventually look like this. And it is from the Ultimate Cross Stitch Christmas from 2015, volume 7. Looks like this. All right, the unicorn took up the bulk of my stitching time. So that was pretty much it. You know, I got a ton done here. I got my new start with Anne. So that's pretty much it for stitching as far as just things to show. Not a huge stitching week as we prep for Christmas and still going to work and all of that good stuff. Just not a whole heck of a lot done, but still fairly productive. So I like that. Okay, let's do just quick plans because I want to show these floss colors for the temperature tree from Stitching Mommy. I pulled four things of floss from my stash, and I did check to see if I could order more of each of these colors because I will clearly need more than what I have on hand, no matter which way I go. So whichever one, I'll basically start with whichever one is either the most popular or see whichever one kind of speaks to me the most. But we'll start with that, and then I will get the rest of the floss ordered. So the first one that I pulled was Classic Colorworks Caterpillar. Looks like this. You know, I'm actually going to put these up against the Owl Forest embroidery piece, just because it's a fairly neutral background. Do not be distracted by the tiny window. We have caterpillar. Okay. So it's got a really nice variegation to it. It's subtle. It's a real deep like chocolatey brown, real dark brown, almost like a 3371, 3771. One of those two. The dark brown. And then it's got a lighter chocolatey brown mixed in. So I really liked caterpillar. The second option was a color in cotton in the color maple syrup. Obviously this is it's got a good red tone to it, so this would completely change the look of the tree. This is a more reddish color. Put these two together. Living in Arizona, clearly, well, I shouldn't say Arizona as a whole, because I actually grew up in northern Arizona where it snowed and was cold, but now where I live in the valley, I'm going to have a lot of sunny, warm leaves. I mean, it's 100 degrees plus the bulk of the year. So I thought something like this might be kind of interesting. Or the real strange one, because I typically go more towards cool tones, is a classic Colorworks in the color Muddy Puddle. More of a grayish. It is a taupey gray, a little bit brown. Well, I guess more just like a taupey gray. So it would be like a very cool toned trunk. But I just like it because I just like the color. So that's where we're at. We have Muddy Puddle, maple syrup, caterpillar, or I pulled one other one out right as I was getting ready to film because I was putting away my cross stitch floss from a finished piece and stumbled across this one. So this is DMC color 105. Tons of variegation. I don't know, is there too much variegation in this? Possibly, but it's beautiful. I don't even know what I use this for. I clearly used it, that's why it's wrapped and not a normal skein. It's like tans and browns. Yeah. Very pretty also. So, these are the contenders. Let me know in a comment if you think any of these are the way to go. Hoping to start it later in the week, maybe on Friday. So I'd watch the comments as they come in and I try to respond, you know, either as they come in or shortly thereafter, so I can kind of gauge. But if you've used any of these for a tree, if you have a picture, that would be great. Or any advice, let me know. So that is part of plans. Figure out the color and begin stitching on Temperature Tree by Stitching Mommy so that I can keep up with it in the new year. Then other plans, I will be starting the Country Cottage Needleworks, the Glitter House series. My friend Carolyn, Seasook Stitch, and my friend Andrea, we all have the whole set. And I had forgotten, but Carolyn reminded me, thank you Carolyn, that we are all going to be stitching these in 2021. And we are set to start this on January 1st. So I just randomly kind of closed my eyes and pulled one out of the mix. No particular order. I will be stitching these all separately, so they're all going to have a different piece of fabric, which I don't know what that is yet, but I will figure that out later on today. But this is Glitter House number 8 was drawn first. I'm tilting it for the glare, but it's the pink house. So this will be started on January 1st. Then kind of my overall, if you want to call it a theme for 2021, I really want, you know how people have like a sampler wall or a red wall or a blue wall or fill in the blank wall of stuff. I want to have a wall of birds. I have tons of bird pieces. I have real, simple birds that wouldn't take very long to stitch. I have giant bird pieces that would take forever, but I love birds. Obviously my channel is called BirdsEyeStitches. My name is Robin. I kind of like robins. But I have all these birds and I haven't really put time into stitching them, and I need to change that. So I would like to be stitching on some type of a bird piece every month for next year. The first one that I'm going to be kitting up, probably won't start it this week. I'm probably going to start it the week after, but I would just want to kit it up, it's by Madame Chantilly, and it is called Berries and Robins. And I'm going to pull this out of the plastic. Sorry for the crinkling. You have headphones in, but it's really in there. So, looks like this. I love this piece. It matches my home beautifully. It's got little robins and berries, and I love Madame Chantilly. So I'm gonna kit this one up. I just had to figure out what color fabric to put it on. I'm leaning towards gray. Shocker. Shocker, I know. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe a blue. Kit this guy up. And then I'll basically be doing a lot of kitting this week is what it boils down to. But you gotta get it prepped and ready, right? So I want to show you guys a piece because I'm planning to stitch kind of a large piece next year. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I at least want to get it started and want to put a lot of stitches into it, just because I really want to finish it in the next probably 2 years or so. I showed this piece on my old Flosstube channel. I will show it again. I did not stitch this. I stitched a tiny bit of back stitching, but I basically didn't really stitch this. This is a piece that was stitched by my husband's grandmother. Her name was Jewel. And when she passed, I inherited the bulk of her cross-stitch stuff. She was an avid cross-stitcher, a beautiful cross-stitcher. She did a fantastic job on this. This is Monarch Horizons Birds of a Feather. So I'm just gonna bring it up a little closer so you can really see. But she stitched all of these birds. But the chart is actually, there's two. So obviously she stitched these guys here, which leaves the hummingbirds. Now, in the stuff that I inherited from her, I inherited what I believe is this exact same Aida. It's a light blue Aida, the type that you used to get at Michael's back in the day. Probably could still pick it up now. I think it's a Charles Craft. I inherited that. It's already cut. It was like this one big piece that was cut in half. So I really want to stitch the other half. I would like to wash this, iron it, get this one framed. Then, if I could stitch this one and put it up next to it, I just think that that would be a really nice, remembrance piece. Jewel was a fantastic human being. Super kind from the day that I first met her, and she was a fabulous stitcher. So I would like to put this up on the wall and then stitch the other one to have it next to it as just a way to, I don't know, remember her, have a part of her in our household. So, and we get to admire this beautiful stitching one more time. Just I'll go to this side. Look at that. Plus, there's really no other piece to sum up BirdsEyeStitcher than a giant piece of birds. So, there's that. All right, haul. Tiny bit of haul, only 2 things. I have really been trying not to buy like crazy as of late. But I was watching To Martini Stitcher. Is that her name? She's doing Flossmas. She has giveaways on all of her Flossmas things. I've only seen a couple episodes because there's just so much. So I've only seen a few, but on one of them she talked about That's So Kelly and her Bitsy Bobs. She's giving away one, which I did enter to win. You never know, could happen. But in the meantime, I was so blown away by this Bitsy Bob idea that I immediately went over to That's So Kelly and got one for myself. So this is a Bitsy Bob. You all probably have one or know all about them. I'd never heard of such a thing. I don't know where I've been. but it's glorious. So it's fairly small, but here, the main reason why I got it is because when I am stitching downstairs, I don't have anything to put my Ort pieces on, and I have a cat, and so I have to make sure to put them somewhere where they're going to stay, so that way my cat doesn't eat them or play with them, etc. So when you open this, this is all felt, so I can put my Ort pieces here. Then it just has this little area, you know, this little zippered pocket pouch. I put a needle minder on here, my Tweety bird. My mom's favorite was Tweety bird, so I put Tweety on here with just a couple of needles, just because you never know when you're gonna need those. And then I just have a pen and some scissors. Nothing fancy, just some little scissors in there, just because that's obviously what I need when I'm stitching all the time. So I don't know what else I'm gonna put in here, but I have been using the heck out of this. Like I've used this every time that I've stitched all week. I pull this out, I keep it downstairs whenever I'm doing my downstairs stitching. Upstairs, if I'm sitting in this chair back here, I have my whole cart full of everything I could need. Downstairs, not so much. And so this is just a really nice little like traveling holder. For me, it's not big enough to hold my pieces. Even the small ones, unless I'm stitching in hand, it's not gonna fit in here. Obviously I like Q-snaps, so it's not gonna work. But as a great addition, you know, to throw this into my bag with the rest of my project, fantastic. I would like to get another one. This one is Christmas themed. I don't care, it made me smile. I'll use it all year. I love plaid, I love snowmen. This is really well made. That's so Kelly. I will try to link her Etsy site down below. I think it said when I went on to look for the official name to this, Bitsy Bob, I think it said that she was on vacation or break, as she should be, it's the holidays. But when she comes back, take a look. Highly recommend. Probably one of my favorite tools. Biggest game changers for me have been my Lowry stand, the Q-snap, the Bitsy Bob, and then I already forgot what it's called, but that, you know, it's like just a flat sheet of metal that is on a stand, and you can put your pattern and your needle minders and things like that on there with some magnets. Also a game changer. Super easy to work with. Okay, last thing for haul, back to Goodwill. I went to Goodwill this last weekend. I had a little bit more stuff to get dropped off. Went into the frame section, as I always do. They were on the purple tag day, so it was like half off of any purple tag. And I stumbled upon, all that I could see peeking out over the frames was the word Mill Hill. So it was like this. Of course, I had to open it and see what the heck that was. I pulled this out of the bag. So this is a Mill Hill frame. It's got some hand-painted pumpkins. Goodwill had it with a purple tag for $3.49, so I paid half of that. Pumpkins are not my favorite. I don't mind them, not my favorite. However, Mill Hill has some beautiful beaded pumpkins I will 100% be stitching to put in this frame to put up in the autumn. So, awesome find, Mill Hill frame. That's it for haul. All right, I think we're gonna wrap this up within about 30 minutes. So, giveaway. Pull these guys out. Donna, who won the Lakeside Linen week before last. Donna, I got your address, so thank you for emailing me. That went out in the mail yesterday afternoon, so we'll see. It is a US ship, so hopefully it will not be too horribly long, but mail is doing the best they can right now. We just throw it out there and we hope it arrives. So last week we were giving away Bluebird Rhapsody. This is the piece that I finished, and I am passing the stash on this guy. So I did the random comment picker generator deal. The keyword was bird, which it did pick up anyone who said bluebird. It picked that up as bird, which is fine. But if you did not mean to enter this giveaway and it chose you anyway, then just send me an email, let me know, and I'll just redraw. That's not a big deal. But the winner of this one was Alma's Little Wonders. That is fantastic. I know, obviously, you gave me the recommendation this week from Forbidden Fiber Company. I watch her channel. In fact, I will link her channel below as well. She has a Flosstube, Alma's Little Wonders. She actually does her videos in English, and then she records it again in Spanish, which I don't speak Spanish, but I just think that that is fantastic. I've actually watched a couple of them just because they have different screenshots, and so sometimes I don't notice until it just starts playing. But I just love, you know, watching everything that you have to show. So if you're interested in her channel, I'll link that below. But please send me an email, birdseyestitches@gmail.com. That is linked. I just need your address and I will get this out to you in the mail. Congratulations. Then for this week, do I have, oh, here it is. All right, so I talked about this last week. I'll make sure, well, I guess you wouldn't know which one it is. But for my my cross stitch pen pal, I stitched a piece from this Christmas Charts Sparkling Ideas for Your Free Madeira Threads. Came in a magazine, I don't know, a long time ago. It's not anything new, but there is quite a few really nice charts in here. See if I can show, like there's some beautiful angels. There's a full alphabet, of course. I know the magazines will typically throw alphabets in there, so there is an alphabet. There's cute little flowers, little birdhouse, just super quick and easy stitches. So I have stitched what I'm going to stitch out of here. Also went out in the mail yesterday, hallelujah, so that is done. But I have done what I need to do out of this book, so I would like to pass this on to somebody else. Then it came with 2 metallic threads. I just know I will never use these. So these are charted to be, everything in here is just 2 colors, red and green. Everything is charted to be stitched with these. So I'm going to include these. This is the Madeira metallic threads in the color 4014, red, and the color 4057, green. They're very pretty. I've never stitched with this brand of metallic, but to be honest, I don't stitch in metallics. They're kind of difficult to use. I have tons of Krynic. I inherited a giant thing of Krynic, so I've got every Krynic color I could probably ever want. Don't quote me on that, but I've got a lot. And then I really like the DMC light effects. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on that, but if I'm going to stitch in a metallic, I typically gravitate towards those. So, I don't know. I probably just won't use these. So, these, along with the chart, are going to be the giveaway for this next week. If you are interested in this, let's do the keyword green. Use green somewhere in your comment. I will ship this anywhere worldwide. It may take eternity to get to you, but I'll ship it wherever. So if you would stitch any of this or just want the floss or just want the chart, use the color green. Okay, that's all I got. Holidays are coming. If you celebrate Christmas, then Merry Early Christmas. Whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope that it is a fantastic one. I hope you get to see your friends, your family, your loved ones, whether that's, you know, in person because you live together or whatever your choice is in that world, or just over the phone on a Skype. Thank goodness for video stuff, right? I think that is really grown and really saved a lot of people this year. So whether it's video or in person, I just hope that you have a great holiday season. I will see you guys next Sunday. Next Sunday will be right after my actual favorite holiday, which is New Year's. I love Christmas, don't get me wrong, but the fresh start that the New Year's it's like a New Year's feeling, the fresh start to the year. You don't know what's ahead. I love to start things at the beginning. Like I get weird about starting things in the middle. So I New Year's. New Year's is where it is at for me. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's it. So be safe, happy stitching, and I will see you after the holidays. Bye.